Hi Cancer, I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and today is Monday, March 13th, 2024. I thought I should do a quick thank you reading for you to thank you for being one of my top viewers this week. For those of you that did not catch the weekly What's the Tea reading for Cancer, I will pin it below in the comments section. In this reading, we're just going to see what the universe or the divine has for you. We'll clarify the oracle cards with some tarot, and then further clarify that message for you using a secondary tarot deck. Please remember, this is a collective general reading, not an individualized or personalized one, and therefore it's quite possible that not every message that comes through today will resonate with you. And if that's the case, it's okay. It just means it's intended for another Cancer watching. My hope, though, is that we can hop onto your timeline and give you a little bit of insight about what you're currently going through and what's to come. So with all that said, let's begin. For the Cancer Collective for May 2024, what do they need to know? What do they need to know? We'll do one more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Crown, personal power. Infinity, unlimited potential. And Tree, ancestry. Bottom of the deck, we have succulence, which actually means like resilience, right? Because a succulent is not something, a plant, it's not something you have to water continuously, right? It's resilient, and it can stand on its own for quite some time. Let's clarify. Why is Crown personal power here for the Cancerian collective? Why is Crown personal power here? One more shuffle, please, and thank you. Crown is clarified by the High Priestess. Why is Infinity here? Unlimited potential for the Cancerian collective. One more shuffle, please, and thank you. Infinity is clarified by the Ace of Cups. And Tree, ancestry. What does Cancerian collective need to know about tree or ancestry? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. And that is clarified by the Six of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have Four of Cups to the Wheel of Fortune to the Five of Swords, and then Six of Pentacles. Well, right off the bat, Cancer, I can tell you that you are using your intuition, going deep into your subconscious and doing what is right for you. If that's not something you're currently doing, it is something that the universe or the divine is actually pushing you to do, or almost urging you to do at this time. You are intuitive by nature. You are one of the more intuitive signs out of the 12 zodiac signs. And I think that using or tapping into that intuition is really how you'll be coming into your personal power, almost like wearing the crown and being the king or queen of your life, kind of like becoming the emperor or empress, really, and starting to make, I don't want to just say better decisions, but decisions that will better suit you in the long run, right? To be an emperor or empress, you have to have the best qualities of all four queens or all four kings. And so to make decisions at that level takes a lot of experience. And so you have had a tremendous amount of growth in your life. And if you have not achieved emperor or empress status, you are about to. For those of you struggling with that, I'm going to take this as the divine telling you to focus more on your intuition. There are a lot of resources online for you to learn how to do that from some very credible sources. But a meditation certainly does help. Learning the difference between what is intuition and what's just a feeling, or what's just a thought or wish, because there's some really big drastic differences between those three. And I think once you can hone in on the power of the High Priestess, that's when you actually become elevated to Emperor, Empress status of your life. Now, the infinity, the unlimited potential, all begins with Ace of Cups. So for those of you looking for love or looking to strengthen current love relationship or relationships, so it doesn't just have to be romantic, could just be all of your love relationships in your life, looking to strengthen them, looking to see what the unlimited potential is, identifying those types of relationships that can really go the difference, right? We have the infinity loop here. So not karmic cycles, not karmic relationships that are short term, but soul bond relationships that can actually go the distance. And again, they can be platonic and romantic. But the key there is to love yourself, right? Ace of Cups. It all begins with that tapping into your intuition, learning how to pour love into yourself. Once you have that unlimited potential of self-love, I think that's what, and I love the way these cards came out. I think that's what lands you in the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is someone who takes all those hard lessons from the past and uses them to elevate into king and queen status. And as you start to accumulate those Six of Swords as the queen or king of cups and pentacles and swords and wands, that's how you rise into emperor status. Unfortunately, you have to go through a lot of choppy water, but that's what takes you away from the past, right? From these ancestral roots. And it's not that you have to leave a family behind or anything like that. It's a way to honor your roots without maybe having to repeat the negative cycles of them, or the ancestral negative karma that, you know, we all carry. A lot of our negative karma or bad karma is not just of our own or from past lifetimes. There's also such a thing as ancestral karma, right? And sometimes we are left to clean up the mess of our ancestors before us. And so it's being able to honor that while cleaning it up at the same time, learning not just from our mistakes, but the past mistakes of those before us, and then truly being able to move on into clearer waters in our life. So far, I really like this message for you. Each of you will be in different phases of this cycle. Some are just entering, some are exploring what self-love really means. Some of you are, you know, maybe looking at repeated or past patterns from family members and family connections and learning from them, right? Using your intuition to not repeat those mistakes again. And that is what is helping you to come into your personal power. A lot of you are doing this alone, kind of like that succulent plant, like being resilient and being able to do this on your own, not needing some assistance from others, right? Succulents do need water, and some do need sun, right? Not all, but some do. But it's that you don't need it all the time, right? It's most of the work is being done by yourself with the Ace of Cups. So I like that very much for you. Let's keep clarifying. Please clarify the High Priestess and how it pertains to the crown for the Cancer collective. One more shuffle here. Oh, please and thank you. And what came flying out of the deck was the Star card. And the Star card is all about hope and spirituality, and maybe not just believing in one sort of God or deity or religion, but spirituality just in the sense of a higher power. And that's really also what helps you tap into your intuition, right? I always say that the intuition is almost like a direct line to that divine power. It's not influenced by anything that we think or feel or hope or want. And so I think this is a good time for you, if you haven't been doing it, to really tap into your spirituality, or explore it more, or even rely on it more. And even if it is a particular religion or a deity or something, like that's absolutely fine too. But maybe you need to connect with whatever that is for you a bit more, so you can be renewed. The Star card is about hope and inspiration and healing, but it's also about renewal. And it's being able to not always stay in a state of like not feeling good enough, or a state of despair. The Star card kind of pushes us, or guides us, I should say, out of that. And so I would definitely, if I were you, to tap in a little bit more to your intuition and your spirituality. Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Cups and then the Ace of Pentacles. And then we have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, you can. The Seven of Swords doesn't always mean betrayal and deception. It could mean someone who's moving in a very stealth or strategic-like way. And so I think for a lot of you, when you're tapping into, you know, or coming into High Priestess mode, regardless of your gender or energy, right? Masculine, feminine, it doesn't matter what your pronouns are. It's tapping into the core of you. Tapping into the core of you will give you hope, and it will give you insight, right? Intuition also gives you insight, and insight into a new beginning, whether it's in your financial or personal or romantic relationships, even platonic relationships, and maybe how to go about acquiring or connecting with those other higher I don't want to say higher levels of people, but being able to connect with people who have maybe the same calling that you have, or even some of the same beliefs that you have, people that are more in tune with their intuition, and being able to do all that in a stealth and almost like strategic like way, I think will open up that all those doors of unlimited potential for you. Some of you are like changing your soul tribe. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Like, what I think once you do all this and you come into your personal power, you'll begin to see that a lot of things shift and change within your life. And that's mainly going to be a lot of your connections, right? You're going to start meeting new people, people that align to your calling, and people that you're aligning to theirs. And I think the people that you leave behind, because that's unfortunately what happens as we all begin to spiritually ascend or spiritually just improve ourselves. It's almost like the people who can't keep up, can't catch up, they're not doing the healing work. The divine or the universe, whatever you want to call it, kind of has a way of making them just like fall off and fall out of our lives. And those people might look at it as if you're like betraying them, or you're being sneaky about it, or like you're running away from them. And really you're not. What you're trying to do is to come into your personal power, and set up like good boundaries for yourself, right? Know what you will and won't tolerate from people. And you know, those people that were being sneaky or betraying you in the past, they're not going to like the new Cancer when you come into this personal power. They're not going to like you becoming a better version of yourself and speaking up for yourself. And you know what? That's okay. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords. You just keep doing it. You just keep speaking the truth and being truthful to yourself. I love what comes for you once you start doing that. You want to talk about unlimited potential. There's the Ten of Pentacles. So it's like once you learn to start speaking up for yourself, these hanger-ons, the people that kind of like seeing you down, right? They like seeing you down. And I hate to say that, and nobody wants to think of a friend or a family member or even a lover that way, or a partner, right? But part of them likes to see us that way, because then they can take more advantage of us. Then they can get from us more than they give us. And once we start to actually come into our own power and use our intuition, and we're healing and we're manifesting our own new beginnings in a wide variety of different ways in our life, some of those people might look at you like you are betraying them. So just be very, very mindful of that. Just continue to speak your truth. Your truth leads you to the Ten of Pentacles. And Pentacles are resources in tarot. Doesn't have to be money, very well could be, but new love, new place to live, new place to work, new soul tribe, new friends, maybe even some options in love. But the point is, it takes you to the Ten of Pentacles, allows you to have potential, unlimited potential at that. Ace of Cups. Why is the Ace of Cups here for the Cancerian collective, and what does that have to do with infinity? What does that have to do with unlimited potential? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Ace of Cups is clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. Yeah. Bottom of the deck, Page of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and Six of Wands. Yes, leaving behind some people, communicating, Page of Swords, communicating to people what your new boundaries are. That it's almost like saying to people, look, I'm not going to hold on to any past heartache that you've caused me, right? I'm not going to Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles card is the Miser card. I'm not going to hold on to it. Instead, I'm going to work. Eight of Pentacles, doing the same thing repeatedly over and over, being an apprentice and doing something over and over again in a manner or effort or desire to become a master at it. And so I'm going to master healing my own heart. Whether you broke it, doesn't matter. I'm not going to be stuck with it indefinitely, right? I am going to heal it. And then once I feel it and I heal it, and then I am prepared to really pour into myself and love myself, and these doors open up with these unlimited potentials, I'm going to communicate that, right? And I'm speaking as you, right? So you're going to communicate this to people in some way, of, you know, these newfound boundaries that you have as you're coming into your personal power. And there will be people who will feel that once you speak this truth of yours, remember that Queen of Swords, that you're leaving them out in the cold and you're leaving them behind. You're not necessarily doing that, right? The one thing about the Five of Pentacles card is these two people that are like freezing out in the cold, and all they have to do is knock on the door of that church or that, you know, sanctuary or whatever that building is behind them, right? The lights are on, the pentacles are glowing, and all they have to do is knock on it and go in. I think the point that you're going to be making is, I'm here if you need me, in a reciprocating way, right? What you give to me, I will give back. But I'm going to love myself enough to not go outside in the storm and get you. And I think that's your boundary, or at least the boundary that you should be setting moving forward, right? If you need my help, I will not just abandon you, right? But I'm not going to go out into the snowstorm and get you. You have to be able to come to me, right? I can't continually be chasing people in an effort to rescue them. And I think once you communicate that, some people will take you up on it, and that'll be your way also of helping them then come into their personal power, right? Because we're all in one another's lives to teach one another lessons. And so maybe the lesson you're teaching them is, hey, listen, if I can step into my personal power, you can do the work and do it also. You don't have to hang around and wait for handouts and you know, where I'm constantly having to rescue you. You know, I can't do that anymore. That is too much of a heartache for me, and I can't continually be overextending myself. You know, the one thing with Cancer is you are overly sympathetic. One of 3 zodiac signs that are just overly sympathetic and very loving, right? So I mean, you're the water sign of tarot, so the entire cup deck of love and emotion is based and rooted in you. And so I think that by doing that, though, you have, like, I don't want to say you've allowed these people, but it's almost like enabled these people to have this open door policy, and they really end up letting you down because they are not giving you equal reciprocity. You are constantly feeling betrayed because you are loving and giving and healing more than they are to you. And I think using your intuition kind of pulls you out of that hamster wheel of doing that over and over again with these people. And that's really where you're going to find your victory. And yes, some people will be left out in the cold indefinitely because they don't want to do the work, and that's okay. Your whole intended purpose is to just keep elevating, and the more you elevate, the more unlimited potential you will have. Now, for some of you, this is going to mean leaving behind some family, or some family feeling betrayed by this. Maybe they've always relied on you to be the person who, you know, bails them out all the time. And maybe, I hate to say it, but as someone who's done it, sometimes it's necessary. Just because someone is blood, right, related to you, does not mean that they have the right to lie and betray and deceive you constantly, and that you're always on the mend of a broken heart, and always left to repair your own heart on your own. Like, people don't have the inherent right to do that just because they are part of your ancestral roots. Six of Swords. Why is the Six of Swords here for the Cancerian? Oh, collective. Six of Swords clarified by the Six of Swords. Further clarify that with 2 more cards, please, for Cancer. Clarify that Six of Swords with the Ancestry card. 1 more shuffle, please, and thank you. Six of Swords clarified by the Devil. Wow. And the Sun. Does it get any more clearer? I love when these messages, and there, when I said speak your truth, this moment of clarity that so many of you are going to be able to have once you tap into that intuition, that I'm not dealing with this anymore, and I'm not dealing with this anymore, and I can't constantly be pouring into others. I have to pour into myself. There will be people who will feel like you're leaving them behind, and you know what? That's okay. Sometimes, and I love these cards, sometimes you have to leave behind the devil, the toxicity, even if they're family, so you can head off into the sun. Because in the Six of Swords card, the individual is leaving, right? And I don't know how well you can see, but they're leaving very choppy, murky waters. In this deck, they're leaving them like in the dead of night, literally, right? and only the moonlight is there, which is illuminating one sword. So with the one sword illuminated, it leaves 5 swords. 5 swords is conflict, turmoil, competition, tension, strife, right? So it's leaving the 5 swords of all of that tension and betrayal. And I love how that one sword is illuminated, because the one sword that is illuminated is actually the Ace of Swords. Like, unfortunately, you had to go through all of that heartache or betrayal or trauma and heartbreak so you could learn how to tap into your intuition, so you can come into your personal power, so you would learn better boundaries, so you could then discern in the future much better between someone or an individual or situation or job, whatever it is for you, what is toxic versus what is healthy love, right? What type of love is going to weigh me down, that I'm going to be consumed by, and is going to be a negative impact in my life, versus love, platonic or romantic, or could even be love of a project or love of work, but which will be, you know, bring into my life warmth and vitality and success and happiness. And so I think that this is almost like a regretful but rite of passage for you that you had to go through. And in some respects, some of you will be leaving behind family in doing this. And whether you are physically leaving them, or like I said, they'll just like magically fall from your life. But the whole intended purpose of that is so discarding that negative energy, leaving it behind. Hey, those people can change anytime they want to, just like I can, just like you can, right? But if they choose not to, that should not prevent you. Like, there's toxicity should not prevent you from going towards the sun, because you deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be happy. So they can change at any time. And this doesn't necessarily just have to be family. We have friend groups and friends, and even coworkers who over time become like family to us. But once they become too much of the sneaky Pete, and they're breaking our heart, and they're not giving us reciprocity, that's when we need to really tap into our intuition. And I think that what you've gone through in the past, as heartbreaking as it probably was, right, because you need to heal from it, or you have been healing from it, the whole purpose of that, so you don't have to repeat that cycle in the future, because you will now know off the bat what is toxic and what isn't. You will feel it in your gut being your intuition. So let's just pull you some cards now for the future outcome with all of this. Let's get that first. Next 30 days for Cancer, regarding the crown, the infinity, and the tree. Next 30 days, judgment, making the judgment call. I love this. Those of you on the spiritual path, I absolutely love it. The judgment card is about listening to your inner calling. It's about absolution. It's about calling judgment. It's also about divine intervention and helping you. Look at the cards that you have here that are major arcana. The High Priestess, the Star, the Sun. Believe it or not, even the Devil's a major arcana card. And judgment. Let's get 2 more cards for the next 30 days for Cancer. One more shuffle, please, and thank you. Judgment, the rebirth. Now I want reciprocity. Remember I said before, you weren't receiving equal give and take. No, next 30 days, you are making the judgment call. If you are on this path, and you can hop on that path, on that timeline, anytime you want. All you have to do is take the risk. It's a whole new beginning. I mean, I can't make it up. You saw me shuffle the cards. There's the 4 of Wands. That's celebration. You literally have 2 victory cards. Because I always look at the 6 of Swords as a victory card. I know other readers don't, but I do, because you're leaving calmer waters with the 5 lessons from the 5 of Swords, and you now have a Sword of Truth, which makes your 6th sword, and that is leading you in, you know, into victory. I take all the 6s and tarots as some sort of victory or happiness or goodness. So yeah, was it a regretful thing that you had to go through? Absolutely. But it was almost sort of like a rightful passage that you had to go through, because your next 30 days is you making the judgment call of, I deserve reciprocity. I'm taking the jump. Whoever wants to learn this lesson and follow me, you can. If you don't, you can stay on the ledge. But I want to see what else is out there, because heartbreak and betrayal can't be it for me in this lifetime. That's your message. I love it. Another card of victory and celebration. Okay. So we did the next 30 days. So what's next for Cancer after this lesson? What's next for Cancer after this? Beyond the 30 days. Beyond the 30 days for Cancer. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. The Chariot. Another card of victory. This is having willpower. This is knowing where you're going, right? The Chariot, I always try to tell my Aquarians people I read for, think of it as a vehicle, right? And for this to be the fastest card in the deck, which it is, it means you getting into the vehicle, into the driver's seat of your life, and now knowing exactly where you're going. And to be able to get from point A to point B, you need to know the address of point B, right? You need to know where you're going, so you can pop it in your GPS and get there faster. And that's what makes this the fastest card in the deck in terms of like modern analogies, right? It's getting in the car and knowing where you're going and plugging into that GPS. This is having willpower, being very assertive, right? And not in a domineering way, but like, this is what I want for myself, even if it's just quietly spoken to yourself. Like, you don't need to have clashes and, you know, verbal disputes with these people. It can also be a quiet power, but just knowing where you're going in your life and taking total control. And again, it's another card of victory, another card of celebration. 4 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and now 3 of Cups. This is celebration. This is friendship. Like I said in the beginning, maybe finding a whole new friend group. Maybe by you doing this, you actually help your friends and family become better individuals themselves. Maybe they're not part of the journey right now, but they join you in the future. Because I said post, right? This is post 30 days. So once you do this work and you set these boundaries, it's fast moving, either meeting new people or reuniting with people from the past that have elevated. I love that. The High Priestess. We are ending your reading with the first card that came out. You can't make it up. It's one whole big circle. Tapping into your intuition, your higher power, your subconscious mind, knowing when people are hiding things from you in the dark and when they're being truthful, right? No more secrets for you moving forward. You are becoming an individual who is listening to the inner calling and listening to their higher voice, their higher self, to be able to make better decisions for themselves in the future. So this really becomes a thing of the past for you. Cancer, I absolutely loved doing this reading for you. I set no intention for the reading. I just wanted to do something to thank you for being one of 3 top viewers. Actually, you were the top, Virgo the 2nd, and Gemini the 3rd this week. And this was really just my way to thank you. Like I said, I will post a link to that below. If you like this message, if any part of it resonated with you, or you want to claim part or all of it as your own, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Drop me some comments below. I'd love to hear more about your journey. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.